compared to maybe the average applicant, maybe I have less years of experience. It's not like it's just numbers. Like there's clear stories of people and their growth. I try to learn about that person and see what they're looking for in their job search. Then I got a lot of value out of the community. Like a few weeks ago, I got this offer with Boost Lingo, and then an offer with 2 other companies. And I remember at one point, what's my hypothesis on this if I got rejected? Like, do I think I could have done something better? Did they probably have some other candidate?
Hey everyone, welcome to today's session. So today we'll be interviewing Ramya Vishwanath, one of our intentional job search graduates who just landed an awesome new role. Ramya, welcome to the session.
Thanks for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Amazing. Do you mind giving us like a quick minute overview about your background before you came and started working with us?
Yeah, sure. So a data scientist turned AI PM with a passion for social impact. So prior to me joining, I was in a fellowship where I was working with the DC education system for an education nonprofit. And there I was working on a data inventory for that entire school system. Prior to that, I was an AI PM at JPMorgan, leading an AI platform in that space. And then before that, I was a data scientist and a data product owner at Bank of America. So yeah, that's a little bit about my background, fairly on the technical side.
Let's start to talk about your engagement with the intentional product manager, but let's just talk about before. Were you already searching for new roles before you came across us? What was going on in your life back then?
I was in that fellowship, which was like a timed thing. So it was a 10-month time thing. I knew it was going to end. I had kind of gone into that fellowship taking a big risk, I would say. So I was in this senior AI PM role at JPMorgan. I really enjoyed it. It was, I felt like I was really enjoying the specifics of that role, but I always had like a passion for social impact and the education space. So I took a big risk and tried this transition at that time. And I knew that it was like something I'm trying out and I'm exploring. Initially, my goal was to pivot into that space, but what I found is a few months in that the actual day-to-day of the AIPM role is what I really loved. It was more so the mission of the nonprofit that excited me more than the role itself. I knew that the fellowship would end, and I knew I wanted to go back to an AIPM role. So that's basically what was going on in my head. And so I hadn't really done any formal job searching, which sounds kind of weird. I had been following you for I think like a year or two before that. So I had seen like the insights and people be successful. And I was like, if I'm going to do this, I want to do it right. I didn't do any job searching. I just went straight to IJS. I think actually I told Sarah that I wanted to join, and I told her when my fellowship's ending, and then she said, based on that timeline, you still have to wait a month. And I remember I didn't want to, but I was like patient and just waited a month. Yeah, I don't think I even like applied anywhere. I was like, because like my goal wasn't to just get a PM job. I was like, if I want to do this, I know I want to be in the AI PM space, have a career in it. Like I want the job basically. And I kept seeing you post all these things about it. So I was like, I need to be in this program and just do it. So probably sounds a little unique compared to the other students, but that was my process.
So I'll say a couple of things here. So, your fellowship of the ring is ending. Sorry, that was just I had to throw in a dad joke at some point. But I actually did an analysis. So I went back and I looked at, people joining IJS and their journeys before. About 60% of people had not started job search when they joined intentional job search. That's actually the majority. I was puzzled. And then most of the people just told me, I just want to do this right. Why would I go and start applying and do all this stuff? It's very similar cases. You were going to say something?
No, I was saying, I think it makes sense. I mean, I think if you have done the job search before, you know that it's time consuming. And then once you're in the role, like you're going to spend multiple years there. So you might as well do it right in the beginning and get into the right place. So
love it. Okay, so you hadn't started job searching, but like what were the biggest concerns or just thoughts in your mind that led you to seek out some sort of a solution?
I think one thing was just that I wasn't coming from a very traditional PM role. I was coming from that fellowship. So I wasn't sure how to kind of phrase what I was doing, and I didn't want to seem kind of like I'm not focused in the PM space. More so that I tried something, now I know for sure, so I'm actually very focused, but I don't know how to kind of like showcase that. And then also, I would just say, like, compared to maybe the average applicant, maybe I have less years of experience. And I think like, if I was coming in with like 20 years of experience and I tried something for 1 year, that wouldn't be a big deal. But I have only so much experience, but I do want to be at the right level. I don't want to kind of be down leveled. So I felt like overall this program would basically help with that. And then the second thing was I did this career exploration and I decided this is the right path for me. So I felt like if anything, this will kind of just push me over to the edge and give me the right role, rather than me just getting some PM role. And the third thing I would say is like the market. I knew it was different than when I had previously interviewed, and I felt like this program would kind of help me navigate that new market. Those were the three main things I would say.
You had these concerns, you do your research, you speak to Sarah. What were some of the maybe hesitations you had before you jumped into joining the program?
This might also sound weird, but I didn't have that many hesitations, honestly. Like, I think I'm someone who I like data and research. I had been following you, and then I think I saw somewhere that it was like maybe 800 to 1,000 PMs who had done the program. So I saw that. I think that's like statistically significant to me. That number was big enough for me to feel confident. And then I think that it's not like it's just numbers. Like, there's clear stories of people and their growth. I think that was like enough like data and evidence for me. I think in addition to that, in terms of like research, I would say like the way I think about it, like an investment in my career, like this is something I care about, and this investing in it is only gonna benefit me. Fortunately, PMs are compensated well, so like I just kind of guessed that it would be more of an investment than a cost. Like, I'll invest and I'll get a lot out of it, and I was correct. So yeah, not a ton of research other than like kind of what I'd already been reading, and then I just signed up for the program. I think I signed up like one day after getting accepted, or the same day or something like that.
You had done research before. It's not that you just came and you're like, cool, sounds great, I'll do it. You had viewed the testimonials, you'd done all these things, and you pretty much sound like Victor, who was also in the program around the same time as you. He said the same thing. He had done my research. I came to the call like, let's go do this. So very similar case.
I watched his interview and I was like, oh, that was me basically. So I felt like I had a similar process to him.
So now you're continuing in the day in the life thing. So now you're in the program. Tell us your early experiences and like some of the early aha moments for you.
I think the first aha moment was definitely the mindset modules. I think that's the first module when you open or start the program. I have always been like a big believer in mindset. I know I put this in my post. I feel like I'm saying the same thing again. But I've always been a big believer. I was previously, I'm a soccer player, so anything like mindset related, coaching related, I like resonate pretty quickly. But what I found is that no one really talks about it in the same way that this program explains it, the general product community. I think that their mindset is a huge part of career, but the way it's explained in the program is like kind of like something I needed that I didn't know I needed. I think that really resonated. It's not just the modules, like I really like dug into the mindset. Like during my one-on-one sessions with Ricky, I was very honest about like how I'm feeling and stuff. And I felt like because I was very honest and I really used that information, then she could really help me, and then I wanted to be helped, so I could use that feedback and like grow quickly. So I would say that was the first big aha moment. I didn't expect that when I came into the program, and I think it paid like dividends as I went through the program. But after that I had a bunch of like, I would say I had at least one aha moment every week. So I had many more I can talk about probably. I would say that's like one of the biggest ones.
Love it. Tell us more. I'm very curious to hear about the other aha moments, as I'm sure the audience would be.
So I think after that, so there were some big like themes, but then I would say like each interaction with each person, like I would learn a little bit from each person, from each coach, from each person I met in the program. So I think the next big one was like, of course, the story writing. The structure that the program gives is very helpful, because when you're in product, it's not like you do one thing, you do like 3,000 things every day. So it's really kind of confusing to think through what pieces of information should I give the person who's interviewing me, so I can give them the most useful piece of information so they can understand like why I'm the best candidate for this role. And I think that structure IJS gives helps me think through all the relevant pieces of information. And then as you get better and better interviewing, you can pick out the pieces that are like most relevant for the person who's interviewing you. So I think having that structure was helpful. I think IGS does a really good job of simplifying the structure, but then having you go through the details of everything you've done enough so that you can get into the specifics when people start asking you those specifics. So I would say that's the second, like another big theme I had. And then I would have little ones like, honestly, with each iteration, I would say, like each coach. So I had one thing with like, I was saying my story and he's an AI PM, and then he was like, okay, but what about this? What about this? And it was like the specifics about each success metric of like each model that I worked on and things like that. And I was like, yeah, this is really important. And I don't know why I wasn't thinking of it, but each interaction, I was thinking of identifying blind spots I have and kind of growing from that. So I was growing in my interview, but also growing like just from that feedback. I'm like, okay, so this person, he works in, I think he has like a leadership role at Amazon and in AI product. So for me to be at that level, I need to know these things. So from each person, I would kind of learn those things and implement it each week. I would say that's another big aha, but generally the way I approach this program is, and I think I was fortunate where for some of it I was in my fellowship, and then for some of it I was not working, so I had a little more time. But I really used actually almost every resource in the program. And so I felt like each week I was getting so much knowledge, just diving deep into specifics. So I think that's where a lot of the aha moments came as well.
I love that. One of the things from my perspective, you were like highly engaged with the community as well. Other people mentioned you when they graduated and whatnot. So tell us a bit more on how was that interaction with other PMs and intentional product manager, and what did you gain out of that?
I think I gained a lot. I mean, I gained like actual like close friends. We don't just talk about product. Like I text Dominique a lot. I'm like, this is what I'm doing today. Like, I don't know, things like that, which I was not expecting that. But I think with the community, like initially tried to network like kind of in the more traditional way. Like I would set up Zooms and be like, what have you worked on? Things like that. And then I kind of like very much disliked that because it felt very unnatural. So then I would just be really honest. I'm like, okay, this week, like I, got rejected from this, or I've been feeling terrible. I try to learn about that person and see what they're looking for in their job search. And then if I saw that type of job posting, I tried to share it with them. I just stopped trying to be anything, and I was just myself in those calls. Then I got a lot of value out of the community. I think part of the value is just genuine relationships, but part of it was like, the way I saw it is like, we're all doing the same exact thing. We're looking for roles. Very few people are looking for the exact same roles as me because they're in a different geography, they have more experience, less experience, a different experience. So if I learn about them and see what they're looking for, when that shows up on my LinkedIn or wherever, if that's not something where I'm going to apply, I might as well share it with them because they'll just make it more efficient for everyone. Amazing. I felt like I could really build community by just being honest and then just like helping other people when I can. And then in some way or form, I think it came back to me. And I think I really enjoyed it. I think it's also really nice because when you're just a PM in like a specific role, you only really get to meet like maybe 3 or 4 other PMs in that space, in that specific industry. And here I'm meeting people from every single industry. So even if just a basic conversation about their product, I get to learn how those people think in that area. So it's just basically like helping me grow at a very fast rate is the way I see it.
2 things stood out for me. It seems, the way you showed up in the program was you're going to be honest. You mentioned that multiple times, just like honest and vulnerable, this is what's going on, and seek help. But also, on the other side, generous and helping other people, and like curious maybe would be the third thing. I think that really benefited both you and then everybody else who was around you. One more question. Did you do like sort of mock practices and other things with peers? Was that also a part of that community?
I feel like maybe not as many as maybe other people do. I did like a few behavioral and then some product sense, and I think it was helpful. I think the way like I approached mocks generally was like I tried to kind of stay away from like did I get like higher or lean higher, and I just try to think like what new thing did I learn and then just keep improving. I felt like each time I speak to a new person, like I'm basically getting a new perspective. So in that sense, I felt like I got a lot of benefit. But I don't think I feel like maybe compared to other people, I didn't do as many peer mocks. I think I did more of the coach mocks and then just thought through on my own like what I need to improve on and kind of iterated from there.
Everyone learns in different ways. When I was back studying and prepping, a lot of people would go and discuss the class after that. Me, on the other hand, like you, I was like, no, I don't want to discuss it. I just want to think about it myself. And like, I need that break, think through it and absorb it and whatnot. Tell us about your story of what's the new role that you're taking on, your story of landing that new role, and how all this training helped out in it.
Oh, there's a lot to the story. So, I mean, I would say like I had various like stages with the program. Like there's stages where I wasn't getting interviews, then ones where suddenly I was getting a lot of interviews, but I was getting to the final round but not closing. And then finally, like a few weeks ago, I got this offer with Boostlingo and then an offer with 2 other companies. And I remember at one point I thought like it's basically, I don't know what I was thinking. I was thinking it's basically impossible to get an offer. I don't know I don't know where my mindset went at one point. I think like there just came a point where I think I had done everything in the program, and then I just got so much confidence. I think it was partially mindset and then partially like confidence from competence, I would say. So like I felt like I had done so much practice. I had learned so much through those conversations, and then also I was upskilling on the side as well, that I was like, okay, what else can they ask for at this point? Which sounds like a little like egotistical, but I was like, if I was a hiring manager, I would want someone who's working hard, who's learning, who has this base set of skills, who has a good attitude. Like, I'm not interviewing to be the CEO of all these companies. Like for whatever I'm interviewing for, I'm ready. So I think I brought that attitude, and then that just once I brought that, like I felt like there was maybe some energy in the interview where I was like, if you don't want me, I don't know what to tell you. And then I think they picked up on it, and then suddenly I got like 3 offers in 3 days. The offer I'm going with is Boostlingo, which is a startup, and it's like about a 200-person startup. They provide language translation services to various different industries, so healthcare, legal, education, various groups. And I'll be a senior AI PM there, and I'll be leading AI across their 5 major products, and then just generally leading AI initiatives for the company. So actually, most of my interviews came from me DMing the hiring manager, but Boostlingo, they reached out to me. Initially, I wasn't sure because I was already interviewing at a few places, so I was like, I don't know if it makes sense. But the recruiter on the first call, she seemed really excited about the company. And then she kept saying that this is a really important role for them. And then I did more research on the company, and AI is everywhere now, but AI is super important in the language translation industry. And so they really are prioritizing growth in that area. So I felt like this kind of role would, and then also they've been growing a lot. So I saw they have 40% year-over-year growth. So I was like, okay, being in this kind of space where they're continuously growing and I'm getting a lot of leadership opportunities, just gonna be awesome. And then also I really like international work. So I like learning about different cultures and working with people from different places. So I felt like somehow that also tied me as a person back to the role, which I wasn't expecting. They came and I felt like everyone in the interviews looked very happy. Or like everyone will say that they're happy in their company or role, because sometimes you have to say that in interviews, but they looked happy, and they had like a pretty high retention rate and stuff. So I was like, this all just came together, and it was basically perfect for me. So they ended up moving pretty fast, just because I'm guessing for them, they also felt like it was the right match. And for me, I was like, yeah, let's move fast. And I got the offer. So yeah, I'm joining in like a week, but I'm really excited about the opportunity. And yeah, I already started thinking about what I want to do there. And I felt like that natural energy only comes to me when it's the right role and the right place. And a lot of that came to me. So I'm really excited to join.
First of all, congratulations. This is absolutely amazing. The fact that you're going at a growing company, like that is by far, in my mind, the biggest thing, because when companies grow, naturally more opportunities come up and people's careers grow faster. Second, your transformation was absolutely amazing from, hey, I don't know if I'm ever going to get an offer, to 3 offers in 3 days. That was just fantastic. You mentioned you did a lot of legwork, like you reached out to hiring managers, you had your finely tuned pitch on why you're a fit, and that resulted in a lot of outreach. And then these people reached out to you, and it feels like your efforts were, in some sense, just increasing your luck surface area. And so that caused it to happen. It's all the causation of the work that you did. So congrats again on awesome work done and on this great offer.
Thank you so much. And yeah, I mean, each person in IJ has played a big role. So thank you for making the program. Letting students have this experience, I think it was a really great experience. I think it set me up for this role, but I think the mindset and the network specifically really set me up for like career. I think it was a great experience for me. I got a lot of like direct value and indirect value, I would say, from the program.
Last couple of questions as we wrap up. One, for people who are new to the program, they're considering it, how would you describe it in your own words?
I would say that you can go one or two ways with the program. So I think realistically, some people are in roles, or maybe they just have a more dense schedule, and you can approach it more from the job search perspective, and it'll deliver on that. I think if you have the time, and more than the time, if you manage your time well in the role or in this program, I think similar to what Carrie said in like a previous call, like I think it can be a career makeover, and I think that can happen for you at any level, no matter how you're coming in. If you really come in, and especially in the beginning, like put your like kind of like ego to the, not like that's the best word I can think of. Put your ego to the side. Just go in open to every conversation. And really just listen and see what you can get out of it. You might already know some things, but like whenever you just listen properly, you're gonna learn a little bit from each person as you go through. So especially in the beginning, just put everything to the side, just follow the program, and then after you have gone through like a good chunk of it and have done some interviews and stuff, then like each person has a different story and different style. So then when you have conversations with companies or things like that, then see it as like you're trying to iterate and grow, because I mean, I just isn't going to come with you and sit in the interview, right? So you have to like have that self-awareness, see like, okay, after each opportunity, think through like, what's my hypothesis on this if I got rejected? Like, do I think I could have done something better? Did they probably have some other candidate? Like sometimes it's not you, sometimes it is you. So I create those hypotheses and then just keep trying to grow. But especially for the beginning stages, you can just follow IJs exactly, and then once you get kind of to the hypothesis testing, iterating phase, then like you might learn something. Like for me, I had a hypothesis I was using story 1 too much, so then I came back, I asked Will and Sam, and they were like, yeah, that makes sense. So then I like added new things, and then I think that helped. Those are the things I would say. First, just like no matter how much experience you have or whatever you've done, put your ego to the side and just listen for some time. See how things resonate with you, follow it exactly, and then add in like your own twists and turns based on what you need and what you're learning as you like talk to different people. And then I think the also thing, if you have the time, continue to do like that hard skills like upskilling, which you can do through the program partially, and then I also did it on the side as well, just because for me that gave me even more confidence when I went into the interviews. And
I love that.
Yeah, so those are the various things I would say to someone coming into the program.
I absolutely love that. I love the put your ego aside and just learn, because there's just so much you can absorb if that's not a deterrent, and so much you can like sort of stonewall if that is a deterrent. And then last question, like for anyone watching this video, like as they're thinking through this decision, for whom is this program a good fit for?
First, you have to know you want to be a PM or you are a PM and you want to stay as a PM. I think because the program's for PM, it's not for just general.
Yeah.
And I think if you're not sure, you should do some sort of like project or something and check and then come. I think that's partially because the program's for PMs, but second, you're gonna have to do a lot of hard work, and that won't come naturally unless you know for sure you want this PM role. So that's the first thing. Second, I would say you have to be at least a little ambitious, or want something, you want to move into some type of role, or you have some goal. And I'm guessing you are, because I think most PMs are kind of like that, because if you weren't, then you could do a role that is less stressful. The work ethic and the coachability, because you can have those, but if you're not willing to get some feedback from people, you're not going to be able to grow from it. So I think those 4 things, so that the focus on PM, the work ethic, some level of ambition to move into that role, and then the last one, which coachability, I think that has to be there. Otherwise you won't be able to leverage the coaches. I think those 4 things.
Ramya, thank you so much for everything you shared. Congratulations again on your awesome new role. And I appreciate you taking the time to share your experience with us, with people considering the program.
No, it was a pleasure. Thank you for having me, and just excited to continue to see students grow and see some more success stories and stay involved in the program however I can.
Thank you.